Yo, what up, Nyakos? It's your buddy Philko here, putting live for your mama's house. Like 3 o'clock in the morning right now. It's real late and shit. But let's talk about what just happened. The big fight. I was not a part of the fight, but I made it look like I was a part of the fight by doing that with my eye in the in the cover photo for this video. But what actually happened was, oh shit, yeah, I got that on camera. I'm a bitch. I didn't know what that was. Scared the fuck out of me, but it's a moth. I didn't know what it was. Just saw something flying. So yeah, I caught the bitch in me on live stream. I just didn't know what it was, but it's a moth, so I'm good. And I'm drunk. But so what happened was when I was in the bar slash restaurant where the waitress works that I really like. I was there to see her, and I originally I just went there by myself. I went there by myself, and I only expected to talk to her. But as I was there, two blonde girls, very pretty blonde girls, started talking to me. They were with another blonde girl, another brunette girl, and some other guy. Long story short, I invited Eddie. Eddie came, and just as Eddie came, the guy left. So it was me, Eddie, and four girls. We bought them a lot of shots, cheap shots. We got drunk. Shit went down. It's kind of fun, whatever. But while this was happening inside the restaurant, there was these three guys there. And how do I can explain all three characters. It went from like level 1, level 2, level 3. And that's how I explain it. But it was all on different levels. It was so interesting how they were all so different than what I would typically expect. So there's like a skinny guy, a medium guy, and the brolic guy. Now, the skinny guy was the extremely drunk, aggressive one. He couldn't control himself. Extremely drunk and aggressive. You have to really understand drunk people in order to communicate with him if you're not his friend. Then it was the medium guy who was like medium drunk and like medium build. But ironically, which isn't that often in Russia, there's an extremely brolic guy who's very logical and speaks English and doesn't get too drunk, which was weird, you know what I mean? But he's a real sportsman because real sportsmen in Russia don't drink alcohol. But he knew English too, which was very fucking interesting. So these guys were definitely hooligans. They were hooligans, and I knew they were hooligans. You know what I mean? Regardless of how nice they are to me, I knew they were hooligans. So when I walked past one, okay, I'm gonna try to explain this move by move. How do I explain this? Okay, so when I went to the table, there was the skinny guy and the medium guy. Skinny guy was real drunk because he asked me to take a picture, and we took a picture. They had fruits on the table, so I asked him if I could drink his fruit. Drink his fruit? No homo. If I could eat one of his fruits, and I ate it. But without asking permission, he tried to grab my beer, and I didn't let him grab my beer. I was like, no, 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 like that. And it's hard to explain. Like I always say, living in Russia is kind of like living in prison. You know, you gotta show people that they have to respect you. I don't know how to put it, man. I don't know. I'll explain it later. But anyway, I hung out with them. And so I only met the first two guys. I went back with the girls, hung out with the girls. The girls are drunk. We're having fun. And then me and the girls are leaving. And as I'm leaving, all three of the guys are there. So the brolic guy is there now. The real strong guy is there. And you could tell he's like a fighter. They're all fighters, but the strong guy was probably the best fighter. Not just because he was strong, but because also he wasn't drunk. You know, real good fighters and serious sportsmen don't drink alcohol, and he wasn't drinking alcohol. The other two were. So as we leave, the big strong guy asked me for a photo. So we all take a photo together, all four of us, and everything was cool because of how I handled myself with them. Then as we leave, we're with the girls, and some stuff went down outside. Not going to get into detail. It was kind of a wild ass night. And then we walked around the corner, and we saw a guy on the floor getting his ass just handed to him. He was getting stomped, kicked, and punched. So immediately, I looked to see if it was one of our dudes from the restaurant. But even though I don't know these guys, if one of them was getting stomped out, I'm going to try to help. Just because they were cool to me in the restaurant. But no, it wasn't one of our guys getting stomped out. It was our guy stomping them out. And for no reason. So one of the girls we were with was like, I'm going to call the police. And I grabbed her and I grabbed the phone. I said, mind your fucking business. Even if I didn't know these guys at all, I would tell you to mind your business. Don't be fucking calling the police because then you get us men involved with this shit. Don't call nobody. Mind your fucking business. That's Russia. That's Russia. It won't be a big deal when the police come. You know what I mean? And the first thing I said when these guys were beating the hell out of those two guys, the first thing I did was turn to Eddie and I said, Eddie, isn't it funny how they took pictures with us, but they stomped the hell out of the first Russian guys they saw? And I was thinking about that. I was like, how the hell these drunk sportsmen, except for one, beat the hell out of the first two guys they saw just because they wanted to fight. They just wanted to fight. They beat the hell out of these two guys. They were bloody. They threw their cell phones on the roof of the building. They beat their ass. And I'm like, isn't it interesting how they beat the shit out of the first Russian guys they saw and took pictures with the foreigners? The first thing that let me know is people don't understand Russian. I understood it. Now, I'm not saying they wouldn't have beat my ass down. They would have. It depended on my behavior. It all depends on your behavior typically. Now, I'm not saying you can't randomly get your ass kicked just for being black or being different. You can. But when it comes to people who, don't really care about your race, who just want to fight and they're drunk, there's ways to, and I'm good at this. Anyone knows I'm good at this. I'm very good at communicating with drunk people. And the way you communicate with drunk people, it's so hard. The way to communicate with drunk Russians is you establish that you're cool and you're neutral, but you got to establish limits without being aggressive. So, for example, when he asked me for a photo, it was cool. We were hugged up, no homo. We took photos. No, it's cool. We took photos. We touched each other, and no homo. But when he tried to grab my drink, I told him, no, this is my drink. You have to ask. I can't just give you my drink. And he didn't say nothing. He was like, all right, cool. And then we took pictures. We joked around. He was even lightly punching my stomach because he looks like McGregor. And he was calling me Mayweather. So we were pretending boxing each other. It was all cool. And we got along. But soon as they spoke to those other Russian guys for like 1 minute, they ended up stomping them the fuck out. Both of those dudes were bloody as a motherfucker. Then afterwards, the brolic sober guy gave the two guys they beat up a hug and said sorry. See, I'm a different type of individual. I'm not Russian. And I'm going to say this. I want everybody to hear this. I'm not Russian. I want everybody to hear this. If somebody randomly beats the shit out of me for no fucking reason at all, I can understand if I was kissing their wife or I was with their girlfriend. But if it's just random shit, them motherfuckers are getting it hard and I'm going home the next day. And I will say that shit on camera. That's on camera. I don't give a fuck. I got money saved up for niggas acting stupid. That's number one. Anybody act stupid for no reason, I'm getting them and I'm going home. And I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about that. But other than that, I don't mess with anybody. And everything's been good. So the mama. Oh. Yeah, anyway, but I'm home now and that's it, man. The fight was crazy. The fight was insane, but I mind my business, man. I'm not calling the police. I'm not calling no police. I'm minding my business. I don't do drugs, motherfucker. Get the fuck out of here, Zoo. Who the fuck are you? Talking about I do drugs. Get the fuck out of here. I don't fuck with no drugs. Fuck out of here. Get this guy out of here. Just comment out of here. Maybe I should get him out of here too. Fuck out of here. I'm not an advocate of drugs. If you do drugs, that's your business. But I don't advocate drugs at all. It's not for me. I like alcohol, but that's for me. I wouldn't advocate it, but I like it because I do it. But drugs, I just would advise you guys not to fuck with it. But that's really it, guys. I'm about to go. Enjoy my night. And it's crazy. Eddie's the man. I'm happy he came out tonight. I kind of wish I got the fight on camera, but if I got it on camera, I could have got them in trouble. So, no camera for them. Yeah, dude, I don't care if I don't live past 50. Alcohol kills. I don't want to be old anyway. My life is fucking awesome. So if I die tomorrow, I really don't give a fuck. Everything's been awesome the past 5 years. I don't give a shit. So, устала? Немножко. Oh. Alright, guys. I'm out. And Jimmy James, shout out to Jimmy James and shit. But that fight was crazy. I wish I got on camera, kinda. I just don't want to get those guys in trouble. I'm not saying they're cool guys. I'm sure they're assholes, but they were cool to me, so I didn't want to get them in trouble, And Russia's crazy, man. Russia is crazy. Да, согласна. She agrees with me that Russia's crazy. I can't really say now because the subject understands. So I can't really say. But yeah, I'm out, people. I'll catch y'all next time. But don't worry, everything's good. Everything's legal. You do gotta protect yourself. But yeah, man, I feel you. Thank you guys for supporting me, and I'm gonna be out. Later, people.